Well, howdy there, folks. James from Political Friar here with you again. It's time to talk about Hamas again and Israel again because there's more news and enough more news that even though the last video was on the same topic, I think we need to put at least another 5 more minutes into this just before we move on to other things. So, the latest news and the most important news comes from reporting out of the Wall Street Journal. Now, Wall Street Journal reports that last week in Beirut there was a meeting between Hamas and the Iranian government. And the Iranian government gave the explicit okay to Hamas to do this attack. Now, that implies some scary things. It implies a degree of coordination between Hamas and Iran that hasn't really been present in prior conflicts. See, Hamas has been going to war with Israel on and off since 2008 when they seized power in the Gaza Strip. It's not that these are good things, but they're predictable things. They have a certain ebb and flow, and we know sort of how they turn out. Well, with Iran's involvement, we don't know how it will turn out. Now, the other indicator that we have that this is something new is just the scale. The idea that Hamas had what is, in all intents and purposes, a conventional military invasion of southern Israel, and they are holding territories still in southern Israel. That's new. The previous wars were rocket attacks and very few infiltrators attacking Israeli military installations. Well, here we have large scale incursions attacking Israeli civilians, beheading them, taking 3-year-old girls back to be human shields. It's a different scale, and that different scale is worrisome because of Iran. See, Hamas is not the only proxy by which Iran wages war on Israel. The bigger one is Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a terrorist pseudo-governmental organization akin to Hamas to the north of Israel in Lebanon. Now, Hezbollah is much bigger than Hamas, much better armed than Hamas. And if Hezbollah wanted to, it could cause much more trouble. See, Hamas is small enough that Israel will contain its incursions. But if Hezbollah decides to join in, it could be a little bit of a near run thing. Now, Hezbollah has attacked Israel repeatedly. Even during this conflict, Hezbollah has lobbed a few artillery shells at a farm to the north of Israel. It's one of those parts of the world where there's a stylized violence, where Hezbollah knows that they can shell this disputed territory without endangering any Israelis because there's no Israelis there. And so it's a good opportunity to fire some symbolic warning shots. But if Hezbollah escalates beyond that, well, we might have a bigger deal. And that's one of the reasons why the USS Gerald Ford is deployed in the Eastern Mediterranean. Gerald Ford is the biggest, most powerful carrier air group, well, really in the world. And it is there not to participate in any kind of fighting against Hamas, but to give the United States president some options if Hezbollah throws its hat in. Because if Hezbollah throws its hat in, it really is indicative of Iran being the actual mastermind behind this entire war. Attack from two sides and make sure you have that thin veneer of deniability by using proxies. That might not work for Israel. Israel, if Hezbollah were to attack, might find themselves retaliating against Iran directly. And then Iran might find itself retaliating against Israel directly. And that implicates the United States security concerns. So that's what's worrying me right now, is the opportunity for this conflict to spiral out of control, to not be one of the periodic barbaric bloodlettings that happens periodically between the Hamas-run Gaza Strip and Israel, but to actually accelerate into something bigger and badder. There's another question in this scenario is, how is it that Fatah is going to jump? See, the West Bank is ruled by the Palestinian Authority, the official legal government of, pseudo-government of Palestine, and the dominant party in the Palestinian Authority is Fatah. Well, if Fatah actually launches some type of armed insurrection or what is called an intifada, an uprising, in coordination with Hamas and Hezbollah, you still got to favor Israel in the fight. And it's going to cost thousands more lives and push any opportunity for peace even further back. And that's probably the reason why it's happening. The one thing that truly threatens Iran is Israel having a rapprochement with Saudi Arabia. If this is Iran, that's why. It's to derail that, to make it so Israel and Saudi can't unite against their common enemy, frankly, Iran. Anyway, it's just my take. Tell me how wrong I am in the comments down below. Please visit politicalfriar.com. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. It really does matter. If I'd like to have other people see these things, so if you found some value, hit the like button. It does work. Thanks, guys.